Okay, we are going to begin. We have a good discussion that we want to have tonight. Good night, everyone. Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come before you and have this discussion. We ask that your presence will be with us. We ask that your blessings will be upon us. Guide our discussion, and may we learn something from it. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. It's a privilege again to be alive and well. Good night, Sister Donna. Good night, Tessa. It's a privilege to be alive and well again. And we are going to be having a good discussion tonight as usual. Sunday, I think, is Father's Day. Sunday is Father's Day, a day that even before the pandemic is not so celebrated as Mother's Day, but it's still an important day. And for a few weeks now we have been discussing issues as it relates to men coming up to Father's Day. So tonight we are going to be having an important discussion on an issue that it does not only affect fathers, but it affects the woman in the man's life also. And that is we're talking about, good night, Mr. Campbell. We're talking about erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. To be honest, erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation, they are different. And if we really wanted to do justice, we should really take one night to deal with each one. But we are going to see what we can do tonight in terms of erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. As usual, I am not doing a lecture. We are having a discussion, and I'm going to be asking you just to participate in terms of typing, in terms of, you know, posting your questions, your comments, and so on. We want to hear from you. But this topic tonight is very important. It's a topic that a lot of persons are really shy in talking about. I guess a lot of us are socialized not to talk much about sex. But you know, it is critical that we explore this topic. So as I said, we are talking about erectile dysfunction, and we are talking about premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction. Those sound like some big terms, but they are really not very big. First of all, let me define what erectile dysfunction is. Erectile dysfunction is when the man's penis does not remain hard during sex. So the man's penis does not remain hard during sex. That is one way or one form, or he has a problem getting an erection. So he might get an erection, but it does not remain hard during intercourse. It goes, Jamaican parlance, it goes dead during, or in the first place he has a struggle getting an erection. And so that is what erectile dysfunction is. He has a problem getting an erection, or during intercourse the penis goes dead. This is an issue that affects a lot of men, and I'm going to be sharing some statistics with you as we go along in terms of the amount of persons this affects. And the older men get, especially when men reach the age of 40 and over, this is something that they have to take into consideration. When men reach 40 and over, they have to take premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction into consideration. So we said that erectile dysfunction is when the penis does not remain hard, or the man has a problem getting an erection. Premature ejaculation now is when the man ejaculates sooner than his partner would like. He ejaculates sooner than his partner would like. That is what premature ejaculation is. So he ejaculates, or in Jamaica saying come, sooner than the partner would like. Again, this is a situation that affects many men, and bear in mind that premature ejaculation does not only affect older men. Even erectile dysfunction, it does not only affect older men, it affects younger men also. However, research has shown that it more so affects men as they get older. And so erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation, Sunday coming is Father's Day, and these are issues that affect men. According to the Jamaican culture, men are somewhat under pressure not to have erectile dysfunction and not to have premature ejaculation. There are many songs that are made up, kind of, if you want to say, making a mockery of men if he comes too quickly, or if he cannot have an erection, or we would say him have no use. Some people say, I am not going to marry anybody, and after we are married, him have no use. Some people say, I have to test it first. And so men are put under pressure. Men are put under pressure to deal with this whole issue of not having premature ejaculation or erectile dysfunction. As I said earlier on, I see some persons joining. Erectile dysfunction is when the penis does not remain hard during intercourse, or the man has a problem getting it hard for intercourse. Premature ejaculation is when the man ejaculates or discharges quicker than his partner would like. These are issues that affect men. Now, one of the questions that you might want to ask me: how will you know if the person has premature ejaculation? How will you know if the person has erectile dysfunction? How will you tell? Well, once it happens continuously over a period of time, it is safe to say that the person is suffering from erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation. So in other words, the man might, maybe 1 or 2 nights or 1 or 2 events, he might not have a hard penis. It does not mean that he has erectile dysfunction, or he might not be able to keep a hard erection for a while, for maybe 1 or 2 times. That doesn't mean that. But when it's constant, then you know that there is a problem. The same with premature ejaculation. If he's ejaculating or discharging constantly, all the time, every time that intercourse is going to take place, then you could say that he has a problem. As I said earlier on, this is a situation that affects a lot of men. According to a study here, more than 50%, and this study was done by a university, Harvard University, recently, more than 50% of men 40 to 70 years will have erectile dysfunction. So more than half of all men will experience this when they get to age 40, according to a study. And we're going to be looking at what causes this. You might be saying to yourself, maybe as a woman pastor, well, this does not really concern me. But yes, it does concern you. Because if you have a man in your life, if you're married or you're not married, you have a man in your life, sex is very critical to the relationship. It is not all, of course, but it is very critical to the relationship. It's important in the relationship, and if the man is not able to satisfy you sexually, if the man is not able to satisfy you sexually, you are going to have a problem. And so, yes, you love Jesus, yes, you love the Lord, yes, you are filled with the Holy Ghost, but Jesus cannot satisfy you sexually. Jesus cannot allow you to feel how you feel after you have had a good sexual experience. So as a result, the man being able to satisfy you is important to you also as a woman. And so the women needs to pay attention, and we can have this discussion as we go along. All right. So I know we have them. I know sometimes persons have them mixed up, because if the man has for example, stimulation is taking place, the sexual act is going to take place, stimulation, and the man's penis gets hard, but then once he starts, maybe a couple seconds, maybe a minute or two after he ejaculates, that is not erectile dysfunction, that is premature ejaculation. Erectile dysfunction is when he cannot get it hard. He cannot get it hard. He cannot get it hard, or if you want to call it stiff, or during intercourse it dies. It goes dead. It goes dead, if you want to call it that. That is what erectile dysfunction is. All right. So those are the terms: premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction. Now you might be asking me, what causes these things? What causes premature ejaculation? What causes erectile dysfunction? Now, as I said earlier on, before you can say that somebody has erectile dysfunction or suffering from premature ejaculation, it has to continue over a period of time. It has to continue over time for you to say you have a problem. You definitely have a problem. And so there are a number of causes, I think, that can cause this. It can be caused by health issues, both premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction. It can be caused by health issues. It can be caused, when I say health issues, high blood pressure causes erectile dysfunction. It also causes premature ejaculation. Diabetes. If the man has diabetes, you have to start pay attention to his blood sugar level. If he has high blood pressure, you have to pay attention to his high blood pressure levels. If he has heart problems, if he has cholesterol problems. I am not going to try to take the place of a doctor here tonight, but the point I'm trying to make is that in Jamaica, once a man starts to experience these things, we say that he has no use, and we don't want to hear anything else. We say he has no use, he is worthless, he might carry a funeral in his pants, nothing on go on for him, he is dead, and so forth. But the point, what we want to bring across tonight is that sometimes the erectile dysfunction and the premature ejaculation, it is not the man's doing. Sometimes he's sick. It could be the high blood pressure that he has. And there's something that I want us to learn here tonight. There are a number of medications that they give for high blood pressure affects the man's ability to have an erection. You must know that. And if your husband or whoever it is taking medication for high blood pressure, when they go to the doctor, they need to find out if this will cause them to have problems getting an erection, or you can ask for a change, something different. But a lot of these medications, they fix one thing. You have high blood pressure, it brings down your pressure, but then it affects your ability to get an erection or to maintain an erection. And so that is very important. And so for the first point I want to make is that premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, it can cause from health issues, high blood pressure, high blood pressure, it can cause from the person having diabetes, high cholesterol, yes. If the person is overweight, if the man is overweight. And I want you to notice that a lot of men, as soon as they get to a certain age, them belly start get big, them start get fatter. That is not a good sign. That is not a good sign. And we love to say that, yes, you're a married man, you get married man belly, and your wife is taking care of you, you're getting fat. But that is not a good thing. Weight is not a good thing. There's a limit. You're supposed to have a certain body mass index according to your height and according to your age. And so once you get to a certain age, you start to put on certain weight. That is not good. And so premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction can cause by if you are overweight. Yes, persons who smoke a lot, tobacco use, cigarette, that this also causes erectile dysfunction. It causes premature ejaculation. Persons who drink a lot of alcohol. I am not talking the person who have a beer every now and then, or have a glass of wine every now and then, but the person who drink every day, who get up and drink every day, who is an alcoholic. This contributes to premature ejaculation. It also contributes to erectile dysfunction. And so these are some of the things that causes someone to sorry, I think I'm talking too fast. Causes someone to have erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. Very important. And so those are biological reasons why some people have those. There are also psychological issues. If the man is depressed, he will have erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation. If he's depressed, he's going through depression, he's stressed out. And sometimes, a lot of times, men are stressed and they don't say anything. As a result, it affects their performance. If he's having problems, relationship problems, if he's having issues with the woman, if he's having issues at work, that can also cause him to have this kind of problem. In terms of stress, stress is something that you stress and you don't even know that you are stressed. So the point we are trying to make is that there are a number of things that cause premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction. A number of things that cause this, and the point we are trying to make earlier is that sometimes it's not the man has no use. Sometimes the man is sick. A lot of Jamaicans now suffer from high blood pressure. I want you to realize something. I was thinking the other day, and I smiled to myself. What is Jamaica's national dish? Jamaica's national dish is ackee and salt fish. Salt fish. It's our national dish. And I know you're going to say, Pastor, but people boil the saltfish and get the salt out. But a lot of people that eat saltfish, and I'm not saying it is saltfish that give most people high blood pressure, but I'm just trying to say to you that a study came out a few years ago that more than 30% of Jamaican adults are hypertensive. And our national dish is ackee and saltfish. And so, no wonder why so many of us have high blood pressure. It seems as if Jamaicans love salt. And I'm not saying anything bad about salt tonight, but I'm just saying that a lot of us are sick. And high blood pressure does not only affect men in that they have a headache and the pressure goes up and they have to take a pill. Sometimes the high blood pressure, it affects the man's ability to have an erection. and to maintain an erection. Very important. Diabetes too, it affects the man's ability to have an erection and to maintain an erection. So if the man has those illnesses, it will affect him. It will affect him. It will affect him sexually. All right. And so those are some of the causes of erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. Premature ejaculation, I want to think that it could be a bit more prevalent in that, as I said, premature ejaculation is the man gets an erection. The man gets an erection, but when he begins intercourse, he ejaculates quicker than his partner would like. He ejaculates quicker than his partner would like. And so that could be more of a problem for most people, I want to assume, than erectile dysfunction. Erectile dysfunction is when the penis cannot get, the man cannot get an erection to begin intercourse, or during intercourse he loses the hardness, and you know, sex cannot continue, or it's not enjoyable. And so premature ejaculation is an issue. Now, when we notice that premature ejaculation is an issue, as I said, I'm not going to take the place of a doctor tonight, but we are going to suggest some ways that these things can be treated. As I said, these are different causes, and now what we want to center our discussion now around is effects. Now, when you get married, because we are doing this from a church's perspective, when you get married to somebody, as I said earlier on, a lot of women say, I don't want any pussy in bag. I am not marrying any man if him not have no use. That's what a lot of people say. Me not marry him if him not no use. Me have to test it first. Yes? So you whether you test it or not, when you got married, sex was great. There was no premature ejaculation. There was no erectile dysfunction. But the man started to get older. The man started to get older. And now you find that he is ejaculating quicker than you would like, because you need to ejaculate also. And he is ejaculating quicker than you would like. And when he ejaculates, he falls asleep and you are not satisfied. Or if he does get an erection, he cannot maintain it during, and so he still ejaculates, but then you are not satisfied. You went to the altar and you made some vows and say, till death do us part, for better for worse. You're a Christian woman. You made some vows. You love the Lord. You truly love your husband. You truly love your husband. Truly love him. You have made vows to him. You and him have been you and him coming from far, and now you find yourself in a situation now where he is not able to satisfy you sexually as you would like. That is the picture that I want to paint, and that is the discussion that I want to center or talk around. Donald Campbell says premature ejaculation also when a man ejaculates not only sooner than his partner would like, but sooner than he would like. Yes. So of course, if the man cares for his partner and wants his partner to be satisfied, if he ejaculates sooner than his partner, he will feel a way too. It will affect him too, especially if he used to ejaculate after his partner, so she used to be satisfied, but nowadays he finds that he cannot stay as long as he would want to, and so he becomes concerned. What I want to find out, I notice there are a number of ladies here, 1 and 2 gentlemen are here. There are a number of ladies, 1 and 2 gentlemen are here. This is a major concern, and as I said, Once the man, more than 50% of men between 40 and 70 will experience one of these in terms of premature ejaculation or erectile dysfunction at some point in their lives. Why, Pastor? As I said, for biological reasons, and the long and the short of it, the older you get, your body does not function the same way as you were younger. You find that the older you get as a man, you find that the older you get as a man, some things the older you get as a man, some things you find start happening to you. Some things that was not a problem, it starts to be a problem. Some things that wasn't a challenge, it starts to be a challenge to you because you're getting older. And we are making the point that it's not that the man is getting worthless or the man has no use and so the wife needs to look for somebody younger. That's not the case. It could very well be that the man really has no control over it, but some of you might say, boy, he has control over it, and so forth. And we're going to have a discussion on that. We're going to have a discussion on that tonight. I know this is a touchy topic, and I know most of the ladies are here to observe and just to see what is taking place, because of course you do not have a penis, and so you don't have to worry about any ejaculation or whatever. But yes, you do not have one, but you do not wear one on your body, but you are interested in one. You might have one in your house, and so you would just like your TV, your cell phone, your fridge, your whatever device you have in your house that you need to work properly. I am sure that most of you women would want your man's penis to work properly too. And so hence we're having this discussion. All right. How should the ladies, I want to hear from the ladies now. All of a sudden, the man is having premature ejaculation. How do you handle this? How do you handle this? I want to hear from you now, ladies. I want to hear from the men too. You are not being satisfied. You are not being satisfied. You are stimulated. You are stimulated. You love him. Both of you do the foreplay. He stimulates you. But guess what? He ejaculates before you. How do you handle this? It's constantly happening. How do you handle this? How do you handle this? What do you do, ladies? What do you do? How do you handle this? Do you just say, boy, that's how life is? That's how things are? What do you do? How do you handle this? I want to hear from you, ladies. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. He's not having, even if you don't have a man in your life right now, but let me just hear from your perspective. How would you handle this? You are not being satisfied anymore, or you're not being satisfied. And I can tell you that a large percentage of women, even married women, women that have husbands that are young, are still not being satisfied. As I said, sometimes it is not that the man is worthless. Sometimes the man just cannot help it. It's health issues. Well, how do you handle this, ladies? You are not being satisfied. What would your approach be? What would your approach be? Because from a man's perspective, if a man finds that he cannot have an erection like he used to, it's going to be a problem for him. It's going to be a great concern for him from a man's perspective, I can tell you. And if the man loves the woman and he wants to please her, but he finds that he cannot please her, he's going to have a problem. He's going to be concerned. He's going to have a challenge within himself that he cannot please the woman as he would want to. So I want to hear from you, ladies, in terms of how would you handle the situation if the man cannot satisfy you sexually as he used to. How would you handle it? What would you do? What would you do to help or would you just say, boy, you know what, pack your things and go, or you know what, since you are not satisfying me, I'm not going to satisfy you. What would you do, ladies? I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Talk to me. I want to hear from you. The man cannot satisfy you anymore. How would you handle it? I want to hear from you. Yes? And so we are looking at the effects now of premature ejaculation. And as I said, once you get to a certain age, this is a concern. This is a concern. Denise Heron says the women can help by doing research on the issue and find out what works for her partner. And then they attack the problem head on. So Denise Brown says women can help the man by doing a research. Yes. And then they see what works and attack the problem. So she's talking about working together with the man. Working together with the man. Yes, working together with the man. That is one approach. I want to hear from the rest of you. That's one approach. Donna Campbell says, I would seek natural remedy. Find a bush medicine man. Okay. Find a bush medicine man. Okay. And that sounds like a Jamaican. That sounds like a Jamaican approach. I think somebody said last week, boil some roots, or Jamaicans love to talk about blend up this and blend up that, and peanut and dragon and Irish masan and saucy perilla and all of this and so forth. And so forth. But two persons said they would try to help. They would try to help, yes. But I want to hear from the rest of you. As I'm saying, this is a serious issue. This is a serious issue that is affecting a lot of couples. And guess what? Sometimes the men do not want the woman to help them. Sometimes the men are ashamed, they feel disappointed, because when a man cannot have an erection or maintain one, he might not say it, but it's a big disappointment for him. It's a big disappointment for him. And as we know, the last thing that a lot of men want is to go to the doctor. A lot of men don't want to go to the doctor, especially to say, doctor, I'm having a problem with an erection. Yes? And so this is the challenge. This is the challenge that a lot of couples, they find themselves in. And so as I said, the causes, they are biological, they can be psychological. Of course, it can destabilize the relationship. It can destabilize the relationship. Premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction can destabilize the relationship. As I said earlier on, we have to pay attention to the cause of these. And we are going to look extensively at this. We have to look at the cause of this, of premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction. The causes are very important, because in order for you to deal with something effectively, you have to look at the causes of it. Yes, and then we can look at the treatment. And the point I'm trying to make, Kedisha James says, go to a specialist. Go to a specialist. All right, fine. She's saying go to a doctor. Go to a doctor. That is one approach. That is one approach. But what if the man does not want to go to the doctor? Because you hear women say, I try to talk to him. I try to tell him to go to the doctor, and he does not want to go to the doctor. What do you do, ladies? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Because Donna Campbell says, boil some bush. Let me tell you something. Sometimes bush can't work. Sometimes he might need medication. Sometimes bush can't work on everything. Bush can't fix. So it's not every time you can boil some bush and he starts to get an erection again. Sometimes the man might have to go to the doctor. Donna Campbell says there are many medicinal plants in Jamaica to remedy these male challenges. Viagra is a killer. I heard many young men in their 20s are taking Viagra and messing up themselves. Well, we are going to talk about Viagra later on, but I really do not see the need for a man in their 20s to be taking Viagra. There's really no need for especially if you're just taking it for taking its sake, because you don't have knowledge, you just probably want a long erection. There are other things out there that men can use. If you want to be erected longer, there are many things out there on the market that the man can use that he doesn't have to ingest. And we're going to look at some of these later on. There are sprays and cream that he can rub on his penis, and it remains erect for a long time. If he wants that, which is not recommended because he's young, he's supposed to just allow his natural self to work. But the point I'm trying to make is that in Jamaica, I am not really disagreeing with the bush. I'm not really disagreeing with the bush. But there are many people in this situation that are boiling bush upon bush upon bush, and nothing is happening. That's what we have to understand. There are many people in this situation that are boiling bush, and so I'm not saying bush don't work, but for some people, bush can't help them. And in some persons, they don't have these bush. They don't have these kind of bushes. Some persons do not have access to these bush. So there are many different ways to look at this from. There are many different ways to look at it from. Yes, but two persons said I would try to seek help for the man. Try to seek help for the man. But it can destabilize the relationship. It can destabilize the relationship if the man is not having an erection, or if the man is ejaculating prematurely. It can have a destabilizing effect on the relationship. It can have a destabilizing effect on the relationship. Yes? And so I want to hear from you. Dennis Brown says change his diet and exercise. Ricardo Robinson says bush can kill you. Ricardo Robinson says bush can kill you. Now, I want us to bear in mind, that you see, the older the man gets, it is going to be normal for him to be having these issues. Of course, he's going to try as best as possible to go around it, to take care of his body, and we're going to look at that. But it is normal for him to start to have certain challenges. For example, when a man is in his teens, in his early 20s, he will be able to ejaculate and still have an erection. The older he gets, when he ejaculates, it's going to be very hard for him to have an erection or get back an erection. This is where now the man has to pay attention to his ejaculation, because he knows that once he ejaculates, it might take him hours to get back an ejaculation. These are the things that women must also understand. It is not just for the man to understand it, but women must understand this too. And women must help in this situation. Women must understand, and we are living in modern times, that once the man reaches a certain age, and sometimes the woman has to observe, once the man reaches a certain age and he ejaculates, and you realize that he's having a problem getting back an erection or remaining hard, the man alone cannot do this. The woman is in it too. She will have to try to do what she can to make sure that he does not ejaculate sooner, or he ejaculates before her, because the woman will have a role to play in how soon the man ejaculates. Sometimes she has that role to play. Sometimes she might have to stimulate less. Sometimes they might have to have a discussion and they talk about it. And so when the man has the feeling, they might have to discuss it, and the man might have to change or change position or whatever the case. But the woman has to work with the man, because sometimes, as I said, it is not that the man is is useless or he doesn't care about the woman. Sometimes the man genuinely has a problem. Donna Campbell says, bad them bad, pastor. A doctor friend told me years ago that a young man came to him waiting to have an erection to last 90 minutes. Said he told him no. Then got to get the bush for who knows completely about it. Yeah, I know Jamaicans, we know about bush and so on. We know about bush and so on. But we have to bear in mind that if you're having these sexual challenges because of your diabetes and because of your high blood pressure and because you have health issues, you cannot be trying to just deal with the symptoms. You have to look at the cause. You have to look at the cause. You understand? You have to look at the cause. And so if the man is having if the man is having erectile problems, sexual problems, and you go boil a bush, you're attacking the symptoms. But what is causing it? Why is he having this problem? That is the question that we want to ask. Why is he having this problem? Is it because he's sick in other areas? Is it because of his pressure? Because of his sugar? Because of his cholesterol? Is it because that his heart? He has heart problems. What is the reason for this? What is the reason for this? Very important. Is he overweight? These things, all of these things come into play. And so it is very important that we pay attention. We pay attention to all of these things. All right. And so very important, if you notice this, that the person is having these challenges, is best to see a doctor. It's best to see a doctor, because there are medications out there that can help. Love Baptista says the man needs to go to a doctor first and get it checked out. Yes, see a doctor, because sometimes it could be his pressure. It could be his blood sugar. As I said earlier on, sometimes the man was totally fine until he started to take the blood pressure medication. Sometimes it's an antibiotic that he got. Sometimes it's a medication that he got. And it fixes one thing, but it affects something else. And so it's very important that you can check out a doctor. Again, I say some men don't want to go to the doctor for this. Some men don't want to go to the doctor for this. They want to probably do their own thing, or they probably are too proud to go to a doctor. Yeah, but it is something that is important that we have to take into consideration. All right. And so it happens in a lot of relationships. It happens in a lot of relationships. And when I counsel people for marriage, I say to the man, you must make sure, because sometimes what we call premature ejaculation is not really premature ejaculation. Sometimes the man is indisciplined, and sometimes the man is indisciplined, and sometimes the woman lacks knowledge. Let me say that again. Sometimes the man is indisciplined, and sometimes the woman lacks knowledge, and the man lacks knowledge. If the man needs to understand. This is what I say to couples. The woman needs to ejaculate first. Okay? If the woman doesn't ejaculate first, make sure that if you ejaculate, you can stay hard so that the woman is satisfied. So if you have to study your body, depending on your health, your age, and you have to realize that when I ejaculate, that's it for the night. One shot. I put it this way. When you are in your teens, in your early 20s, you're like a machine gun. You fire a number of shots. The young man, he ejaculates 1 time, 2 times, and he's still hard. When you reach 40s, 50s, you're a sniper. 1 shot, bow, and there's no more for the night. The sniper only gets 1 shot. he lies down on top of the roof and look in the spyglass to shoot a man 2-3 miles away. He only gets one shot. If he missed, the man escape. One shot. So when you reach a certain age, you get just one time you can ejaculate. Once you ejaculate, you're done. You're done for the night. You're done for a couple hours. If you find out that you are at that stage, so in other words, you have an erection, it's hard, it's not dying during intercourse, but the moment you ejaculate, it's dead, so to speak. You have to understand now that you cannot allow yourself to ejaculate first, else the woman will not be satisfied. That's the point I'm trying to make. Also too, from the woman's perspective, the woman needs to know that the more she stimulates the man during the intercourse, the quicker it is going to be for him to ejaculate. And so there has to be a cutoff point. I'm not saying for all men, but I'm saying for most men. The more you stimulate the man during intercourse, it is more likely that he will ejaculate sooner. And so it could very well be that the man is ejaculating too quickly because the woman is playing a part in doing that. Yes? And so this is very important. Let me read your comment. Donna Campbell says the key is to live well and avoid these lifestyle diseases, so when the inevitable occurs, it can be managed better. I agree. Say you try to avoid these lifestyle diseases. Yes. Kenisha James says the bush not going to work for everyone. Sometimes they need to go to the doctor so the doctor can see what's going on in your body. So you can solve the problem faster. That's true, Pastor. Some young men have problems. So yeah, some young men have problems too. Young men have problems too. You have to make, Craig Campbell says, you have to make the one shot count. Very good, Craig Campbell. You have to make the one shot count. You couldn't have put it better. When you reach a certain age, you only have one shot. One shot you have. So you can't fire it too quickly. You have to make sure the woman is satisfied first. You have to make sure the woman is satisfied first. And after the woman is satisfied, then you can fire your shot. And you know, say, all right, she's good and I am good. And so the man has to pay attention. The man has to pay attention when it comes to this. All right. Okay. So very important. Now, so as I said, the effects of this, it affects the relationship. It does affect the relationship. How does it affect it? You will find that the woman gets frustrated because she's saying he's not satisfying me and it doesn't seem to bother him. It doesn't seem to bother him. Yes? And so it affects the relationship, and she might get to the point where she said, boy, him now get nothing because him now satisfy me. And then you will find the man maybe go outside and start to cheat. And so this affects relationships in a number of ways. Why? Because sometimes men don't want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about it. The woman might make suggestions to them and they don't want to take the suggestion. They don't want to talk about it. Especially if the woman says, let's go talk to a doctor. The man might not want to go out of embarrassment. And so it can be a challenge. Yes, teamwork is important, but sometimes it can be challenging for this teamwork to take place. All right. And so yes, so it affects a lot. It affects a lot of men. As I said, when you reach a certain age, it affects you. It affects young men too. And I'm glad you made the point, Lover Bethesda, why it affects, you know why it's going to affect a lot of these young men? Especially in Jamaica. Every day you see them with a cup of rum. They drink. Drinking alcohol every now and then is not abuse. But when you are drinking alcohol and smoking tobacco, smoking every day, drinking every day, it has to affect your body, and eventually is going to affect your erection. Eventually is going to affect your erection. Yes? And so it does not only affect older men, it affects young men too. It affects young men too. Yes? And so we have to understand that. We have to understand that this thing needs to be taken seriously, because sex is very important in a relationship. Don't make nobody fool you. It doesn't matter how the person loves the Lord, sex is very important in a relationship. It's critical. As a matter of fact, if you can't have sex, you can't marry. The government says you have to have sex in order to marry. Sex is critical. And a lot of people will not say it because of how you are grown up. But it's not only sex is important, but good sex, great sex is important in a relationship. Very important in a relationship. And the woman needs to be satisfied, and the man needs to be satisfied. And when this is not taking place, it is going to cause a problem. And this is what erectile dysfunction does. It causes a problem. It does cause a problem. Donna Campbell says, best to make one embarrassment at the doctor than countless going forward. That's a good point. That is if the man wants to go to the doctor. That is if the man wants to go to the doctor. That if it's the man want to go to the doctor. That if it's the man want to go to the doctor. Yes? Alright? So in terms of how can we deal with this now? As I thought about this, I realized that this thing happens a lot because of the man's diet, how the man eat. The man's diet. Very important. And some of you might say, boy, my husband eat healthy. Okay, fine. And I know a man that eats healthy and he's having the same problem. What do you call healthy eating? What do you call healthy eating? As you age, there are some things that you have to increase in your diet, and there are some things that you have to take out of your diet. There are some things you have to increase, there are some things that you have to take out. Now, ladies, this concerns you a lot. Especially that sometimes you will do most of the cooking, and most of what the man eat, you prepare it. So essentially, a lot of these men, a lot of the men in your life are having erectile dysfunction sometimes because of what you give them to eat. What you give them to eat. Now, diet is important. I cannot overstate this. And I'm not going on the road of every now and then you blend up peanut and blend up sarsaparilla and linseed and Irish mash and dragon and Malta. I show you the get it, man. Sometimes you blend up Lasco, you blend up ice cream, you blend up molasses, you blend up honey, you blend up all kind of foolishness, get it, man. When him done drink it, him blood sugar high. Yes? In blood sugar high. Diet is important. Now, I always say this. Ladies, your man must eat vegetables 7 days a week. 7 days a week, vegetable must go in his mouth and go down into his digestive system. Men must eat vegetables every single day. Not only on Sundays when you cook good Sunday dinner. And preferably vegetable that is not cooked. Diet is important to the man's erection. Vegetable does no harm to the body. It's good for the man. On a Sunday, the plate, half of the plate is rice, and quarter, half of the plate is rice, half is meat, and 2 little pieces of tomato cut up, put on the side. You're killing the man. And men, you are eating back ways. 3/4 of your plate, or half, at least half, must be vegetables. You must consume a lot of vegetables. Diet is important the older you get. Because food was designed to make your body function a certain way. So you see this bush thing and this blend up business, all of these things that people talk about, blend up peanut and so on, yes, they have nutritional values, but 1 and 2 blend up cannot help. The man needs to have a constant healthy diet every single day. He must eat fruits every day. He must eat vegetables every day. Fruits, vegetables are very important, especially when he starts to get older. I'm not only talking fruits 1 time a week. Vegetables 1 time a week. No. Men must feed on these things. Feed on these things. But a lot of ladies, and I'm not bashing ladies now, we're having a discussion, so please don't get me wrong. But ladies, you are the ones who prepare the food. You are the ones who prepare the food. A lot of ladies feed the man back ways. Too much meat, too much starch, too much dumpling, too much rice, and little or no vegetable. Little or no vegetables. And so we're talking about dealing with erectile dysfunction now and premature ejaculation. It's going to come down to how you feed him. And I'm not talking about, all right, we are going to have intercourse tonight. Me I go blend up something gear and you go drink it and yes, you go good. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a lifestyle now of eating properly. Proper eating. Feeding properly. When you go to market, you make sure you get the vegetables, you get the fruits, and then make sure you give it to him. Very important. Very important. Yes? Fruits and vegetables. So diet is important. Diet. Diet is important. Diet is important. On Sunday, you give him a tall glass of drinks. Why not give him a tall glass of water? Every now and then. You have to make sure that him drink water every day. Listen me, he's your man. And you are the one who is feeding him. You have to make sure that him drink water every day. And sometimes men go through the day and they just have 1 and 2 sips of water. Just 1 and 2 sips of water. And for the rest of the day, it's a sugary drink. This is not good for men. Diet becomes very important. It's very critical. So, and I'm not just speaking to the ladies, but I want to speak to the men too. Diet is very important. Your diet is very important in terms of your erection. It's very important. I'm not talking about you want an erection, so you blend up some things to have a hard erection. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about having some things in your diet constantly. Fruits, vegetables, food that are high in fiber. Yes? Food that are high in fiber. Your oats, your grains, your nuts, your oats, your grains, your nuts. Things like these must be in your diet a lot. In your diet a lot. Yes? These things must be in your diet a lot because it helps your body to function better, for you to feel better. The better you eat, the more energy you will have, the more your body will perform. The better you eat, I'm not talking about one bush tea you drink, or one glass of blend up with your drink. The better lifestyle you have in eating, the better your body performs. Yes? Yes? Alright. Let me read one more. Donna Chamber says, long time may I study half vegetables. Good rest and exercise also. Lots of fiber. Yes. Blend up should be occasional. Yes. Pastor, people have messed up their taste buds, so they crave for sugar and salt. The two killers. Yeah. But we use a lot of salt in Jamaica. We love salt in Jamaica. As I said, our national dish is ackee and saltfish. We are eating June plum with throw salt on it. We throw salt on everything. The Jamaicans love salt. It seems as if it's in our DNA. We love salt. Yes? And so you find a lot of people with high blood pressure and doctor tell them to cut down on the salt and they're not cutting down. They eat the same saltfish, salt mackerel, salt beef, salt pork, salt chicken, salt everything. They still love salt. We love salt. But let's get back to this. So the man's diet is very important. It's very important, the man's diet. Very important. How the man eat is very important. What you feed him on. What he eats is important. Very important to his erection. Very important. Very important. So the more vegetables and fruits and grains and nuts, very important. Exercise now too is very important. Exercise is very important. And I'm not talking about exercise 1 day a week. By right, at least 5 days a week. You really should exercise every day. But at least 5 days a week, one should exercise. For at least half an hour. Yes, exercise is good for the body. It helps also in terms of erection, in terms of sexual performance. Because it strengthens the heart. And the heart has a lot to do with the erection. Because the heart pumps the blood around the body. And in order for your penis to be hard, the heart has to send the blood to the penis. And when the blood goes to the penis gets hard. So if your heart is weak, if your heart is not strong, if it's not functioning as it ought to, that is going to also affect your erectile problems. So exercise, because the more you exercise, the stronger your heart gets. As long as the doctor says you can exercise, because you might have health issues where you can't do too much exercising. But as long as you can exercise, it is very important because it strengthens your heart. It allows your body to perform. It allows your body to perform better. It allows your body to perform better. So diet is one. Exercise is another. Medication. There are medications out there. As I said, if there's erectile problems, the man should see a doctor. If it's a continuous problem, the man should see a doctor. He should see a doctor. Especially if he can't get an erection, he's losing the erection during intercourse, he might have to see the doctor. He might have to see the doctor. Yes? Does the blend up business work? The blend up peanut and these things, does it work? I want to know that. Does it work? We hear about it all the time. Does it work? I want to hear from you. Does the blend up work? Because to be honest with you, I don't know. Does the blend up business work? Blend up what? Peanut, Irish mash, what else? Sarsaparilla? What me here? Sarsaparilla, what them blend up? Dragon? Does it work? Does it work? And how long does it work for? Will you have to blend up every day? Will this fix a genuine erectile problem? That's a question that we have to ask. It's a question that we have to ask. But that is critical. And so I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. How can we help men to in terms of dealing with these issues? I know some person says go to the doctor. Some person says, boy, let's work together. But it is not as easy as that, because sometimes the man don't want to listen. Sometimes it's embarrassing. Sometimes it's not up for discussion. Sometimes it can be challenging, and as a result, there are issues there. But as I said, the older the man gets, he has to take this into consideration. And so what I'm basically saying to us now is that we have to consider the man's diet, what we are giving him to eat, what he's eating. We have to watch in terms of his sugar level, his blood pressure level, all of these things. Because these underlying illnesses, lifestyle illnesses, affect us in more ways than one. It affects us in more ways than one. It affects us in more ways than one. Very important. It affects us in more ways than one. And so that's a challenge that we have to deal with. All right. So health is one, diet is one, exercise is another one. We talked about medication. The doctor can prescribe different medications on the market. There are things out there. You would have to speak to your doctor. You'd have to speak to your doctor to see which one works best. But this cannot be something that is swept under the carpet in terms of erectile dysfunction, because it happens to a lot of men. And as you age, you realize that this is going to want to start to come into the marriage, come into the family, come into the bedroom, and it is something that we are going to have to want to deal with. Very important. It's something that we are going to have to deal with, else it's going to destabilize our relationship. Very important. It's going to destabilize the relationship. We mentioned earlier on about Viagra. Before one takes Viagra, it is recommended that you see a doctor first. You can't just take Viagra like that. The person has to see a doctor first. And the doctor might have to run some checks to see if the person is healthy enough to manage the effects and the side effects of Viagra. That's very important. So it's not just to just buy some Viagra and take it like that. The person has to see a doctor first. But that is one option. I know earlier on some person said Viagra is a killer. But it works for some persons. It works for some persons. Tessa says some people don't go doctor unless they're sick. Yeah, and that is true. That is true. They don't go to doctor unless they're sick. That is true. But of course, the man and the woman has to try to work it out, to work together to make sure that this thing is resolved. But in terms of the Viagra, yes, you have to see a doctor first before you start taking Viagra. As I said, there are things out there on the market. That men can use safely. They would have to consult a doctor. They will have to consult a doctor to see if these things are right for them. But there are a number of things out there that they can use to probably prevent them from having from ejaculating too quickly, or to maintain an erection. But it should not be ignored. If a man cannot have an erection or is ejaculating too quickly, it should not be ignored. It should not be ignored. If a man cannot have an erection or maintain an erection, it must not be ignored. It must not be swept under the carpet. Because a lot of the times, the women suffer. The women suffer. And the woman loves the man, but she's not being satisfied. And she don't know what to do. Sometimes she tries to talk to him and nothing works. Nothing happens. Yes? And it might seem as if the man don't care. But sometimes the man is genuinely sick. Sometimes he's not well. Sometimes he's not well, and this is the reason why he's having premature ejaculation is ejaculating too quickly. And as I said earlier on, sometimes the woman is the cause of it too. Sometimes the woman is the cause of it too. Because the woman might stimulate the man too much during the intercourse, and it just allows the man to lose control and he ejaculates. And yes, as Craig Campbell says earlier on, you have to make the one shot count. When the man gets to a certain age, women, you must know this. You must know this. It doesn't happen to you, so you might not pay attention to it. When a man gets to when some men, I'm not going to say all, but a large percentage of men, when they get to a certain age, when they ejaculate or when they come, that's it for the night. I'm not saying all men, but a large percentage of men. And sometimes it doesn't even matter how good you eat. It doesn't matter how much you exercise. It doesn't matter how well you eat, the vegetables, the fruits, the grains, the nuts. It doesn't matter how well you eat. Yes? Sometimes it doesn't matter how well you eat. When you reach a certain age, I'm not saying all men, but a large percentage of men, it doesn't matter how well you eat. When you get to a certain age and you ejaculate, that's it for a couple of hours. That's it for the night. Knowing this has to be seriously taken into consideration. Seriously taken into consideration. And as the gentleman says, as I said earlier on, you have to make the one shot count. You understand me? When the man is younger, he ejaculates and he still has a hard. He still has an erection. And he ejaculates again, and even if he doesn't have an erection, 5 minutes after, he's hard again. But as he begins to age, his body begins to change. Yes, he's eating right, he's eating well, he's exercising, but he's not 25. He's now 45, he's now 55. Yes? And I'm not saying a man at 55 will not perform as well as a man at 25. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying in a lot of cases, the older the man gets, the body does not function as it used to. As a result of this, the woman has to help. Yes, the woman has to help in terms of making sure that the man is able to satisfy her. Because when we sum up all of this, when all of this is summed up, and we draw the line and we put the answer, premature ejaculation and erectile dysfunction, in a lot of the cases, it is the woman who suffers, because when the man stays for 2 seconds or 5 seconds and ejaculates, he rolls over and he's gone to bed. He is satisfied, but the woman is lying there not satisfied. Or if he had an erection, intercourse is going on, and the erection dies, the woman is stimulated. The woman wants to be satisfied, and the erection dies, and that's it for the night. And so the woman, in a lot of the cases, the women really suffer when the man is having these challenges. And so I am saying to the women, you have a role to play more than you think in making sure that the man is functioning properly. Very important. As we spoke about earlier on, we talk about diet. And a lot of the women, you're responsible for feeding the man. And as I said, the man needs to eat fruits and vegetables 7 days a week. He needs to drink water. He needs to have his grains and his nuts and all these nutritious things. It's modern times. You can go on the internet and look up what is essential for the man to eat, and make sure that he gets and feeds on certain things so that his body can function the way it ought to function. As the man ages, he needs to cut down on certain foods and he needs to increase certain foods. And as we said, diet is very important. Diet is very important. It is very important. Another thing that I would want to say also is this. is that, and I say to couples when I'm counseling them, is that there are some positions that will cause the man to ejaculate quicker than some. This needs to be taken into consideration too. The man needs to know this. And so at the end of the day, the man must have it in his mind to satisfy the woman. If a woman is not satisfied after intercourse, it's a waste of time. If the man alone is being satisfied, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. That's a waste of time if the man alone is satisfied. The man alone must not be satisfied. The woman must be satisfied after intercourse. Yes? And so the man has to make sure that this takes place. Yes? And so as a result, the woman has to make sure that he is exercise has to come into the play. I know some women love to see men with big belly. He's married and his belly start to get big and you feel good. Oh, big belly, married man belly. Let me tell you something. That is not a good thing. When your man start to get big belly, and I'm not disrespecting anybody, I'm not trying to belittle anybody. So if somebody in your life has big belly, I'm not putting them down. But I'm just stating facts. It's not a good thing. When the man start to get obese and overweight, it's not a good thing. You have to look at portion size too. How you feed him. How you feed him. The man can eat a lot, but a lot of what? This is critical. This is critical. And so 20, 30 years ago, we never had certain knowledge that we have now in terms of what certain foods do to us. But now we have that knowledge. Now we have that knowledge. Yes? As I said to you earlier on, for dinner you give him a tall glass of drinks. Sometimes you can give him a tall glass of water too. This is critical, how you feed him, because this body, how you feel, how you function has a lot to do with how you eat. Especially when you start to go up in age. That is when it becomes critical. Yes? And so there are different ways that the women can help. And to make sure that the man is well rested, exercise and so forth is very critical and is very important. And so as we said earlier on, sometimes the man is ejaculating prematurely. He's just sick. And as I said, sometimes he's on some medication that causes that too. Causes that also. And so that has to be taken into consideration. Yes, we talk about medication. You have to visit the doctor and talk to the doctor and see what the doctor can prescribe to deal with this. And of course we talked about Viagra. I am not recommending Viagra, but it's an option. Your doctor will have to determine that, because the doctor would have to have you do the test and see if you should really take Viagra. However, as I said at the start, research has shown that most of the problems is the premature ejaculation, where the man is ejaculating too quickly. Years ago, it wasn't a problem, but now he's getting older, he's ejaculating quicker than he used to, and there is a concern. There is a concern. Yes? And so this has to be taken into consideration. Yes? So what do the women do? If your man cannot satisfy you anymore and he does not want to go to the doctor, what do you do? What do you do? Because some men don't want to go. Some men don't want to talk about it. They don't want to go to the doctor. What do you do? So what some women do, they say, you're not satisfying me. You don't care. And she locks shop. And then, in turn, the man will go out and find somebody and the relationship start to go downhill. Donna Campbell says, yes, Pastor, some raw pumpkin seed and them nuts there. And raw nuts are more beneficial than parched ones too. Throw the salt through the window, people. So Donna, you're saying ital food with some feed him on some raw pumpkin seed and some raw nuts and this and that. As I said, people, it's 2020. The cell phone that you look, even though it's not everything on the internet is beneficial and is credible information, but it's 2020 and we can do a research. There are some things that men need to feed on more, and there are some things that men need to cut down on. And we have to study these things and know how to feed ourselves and feed the man in our lives. Yes? Feed the man in our lives is very important. Yes? And yes, I would join in cutting down on the salt. I'm not saying cut the salt out altogether, but I would say cut down on the salt, cut down on the sugar. Yes, cut down on certain things and build up on the vegetables, build up on the fruits, give him more fruits, give him more vegetables, make sure him drink more water, make sure him eat more fiber. You see the dumpling? Sometimes you can cut down on this white flour and this white rice. Sometimes the yam and the boiled banana and the boiled breadfruit can do the same thing, and they are more healthy. The processed food, you see the tin mackerel and the sardine, full of salt. Processed food, not good for the man's body. Tin mackerel, sardine, all of these tin business, not good for the man. Yes, it's not good for him. And of course, we have to bear these things in mind. We have to make sure that, you know, we take all of this into consideration. Tessa says men can take vitamins and iron tablets too. As I said, visit the doctor, but I strongly believe that yes, take your supplements, but most of what you eat should contain these supplements that you need. If you understand what I'm trying to say. You see the fruits and the vegetables and the nuts, these things contain the supplements. Because you see a lot of these things that are made in the factories, you want to move away a lot. You want to move away from these things gradually. I'm not saying that men shouldn't take supplements, but I'm saying most of what you eat should not harm you. Your food should not harm you. Your food should make you better. Your food is an investment. Yes? Yes, and thank you, Gloria. Prostate checks, very important. Once the man gets to 40, prostate checks. Yes? I know some doctors, they send you to do a blood test and they check they check the blood for the prostate, and of course, if some of them sees a heightened level, they will do the manual test with the finger, while some of them don't just do the blood test, they do the finger finger one also. But the prostate check is especially when the man gets to the age of 40 and over, he needs to check his prostate every year. Feed him on a lot of tomatoes. Tomato is good for his prostate, pumpkin, these things. So the point I'm trying to make is that you have to steer the man out. You are feeding the man. A lot of you women, you are the one who's doing the cooking. And sometimes you have to sit down with the man and have a honest discussion with him. You see this whole heap of red meat, you have to cut these things out of his diet, because you're going to need him down the road. Women have a longer life expectancy than men. Women's life expectancy is longer than men, for some reason. So you are going to need your man in his 50s, his 60s, his 70s, his 80s. Yes? And you would want him to still be able to have an erection that time. You don't want him to become your brother, where you're sleeping together in the same bed and he's your brother. And Homer's Charlie can jump over the fence. No, you want him to still be able to have an erection. And so you have to make an investment in your future. What kind of investment? You see, your food is an investment. Your food, the food that you eat is an investment on your future. Because the better you eat, the more healthy you will be down the road. Yes? And so a lot of complications we develop as we age is because of our history of eating. I am saying it takes a whole lot for a man to get an erection. The body has to be functioning to a particular point. It has to be functioning well for the man to get a hard and stiff erection. And when the erection is hard and stiff, it's still hard and stiff. You know how much blood that, you know the amount of work the body has to do? You understand me? You don't want the erection to be flimsy. You understand me? You want the erection to be stiff and hard. You understand me? And so that the man will have to take care of himself. You have to help the man take care of himself. You understand me? You have to help the man take care of himself. Gloria Dixon says, I'm late checking in, so I've missed a lot. That's okay. That's okay. I'm trying to repeat some of the things that we said earlier on. Dana says, let your food be your medicine. Yes, your food must not harm you. Your food must not harm you. Your food was not given to us to harm us. Just as though when you go to the gas station and put gas in your car, you don't want to buy gas that is going to mash up your engine. You want the right gas. You want the gas that will make your car perform better. That is what food should do. When you eat and it goes down into your body, it should make you feel, it should give you strength. That is why if you notice when you're hungry, your body, you start to feel weak. So food is an essential part of the man's performance sexually. Very important. Very important. As I said earlier on, Donna Campbell says, let me read this. Anne-Marie says, eating properly is key. Very important. And ladies must ensure that the man eats properly. Ladies, you are the one who's cooking. Reduce the salt. Reduce the salt. Reduce the salt. Cut down on the red meat. Give him vegetables more often. Every day. Your man, we deal with men now. The man must pass his feces every day. You must go to the toilet 7 days a week. Did you know that? Did you know that a day must not pass and you don't go to the toilet? You're supposed to go to the toilet every day. You must have a healthy bowel movement. So you have to feed him with the proper food so that he can function well. That has a lot to do with his erection. Dana Campbell says, most nuts appear to be generally healthy, though some may have more healthy nutrition than others. For example, walnuts contain high amounts of omega-3 fatty acids. Almonds, macadamia nuts, hills nuts, and pecans also appear to be quite heart healthy. And yes, Dana, and some of you might say, Dana, do you know how expensive those things are? And some people might say, Pastor, do you know how expensive it is to eat healthy, eat vegetables? But listen to me very carefully. You can buy one callaloo. You can buy one callaloo and cook it 2 times and give it to the man. Rather than buying 1 pound of chicken back and give him. Or buy 1 tin mackerel, give him. Your food, the food you eat is an investment. Because if you are sick, you cannot enjoy what you worked for. If you are sick, you cannot enjoy what you worked for. Can you imagine you have a nice, sexy woman in your bed and you can't get an erection? Lord Jesus. Can you imagine you have a nice Coca-Cola bucket shape woman beside you and you can't get an erection? Because you have erectile dysfunction? It's disheartening. It is disheartening. Yes? It is disheartening. Can you imagine? The erection comes, the intercourse begins, and you are, as a lady now, you are beginning to feel good. And guess what? The light goes out and it gets dead. Can you imagine? What you're gonna do? It's not easy. And so this is a very important topic that we have to deal with. Very important topic that we have to deal with. Yes? And so, ladies and gentlemen, we say that exercise is important, diet. We say that visit the doctor, pay attention to the high blood pressure, pay attention to the high blood pressure, pay attention to the high blood sugar, pay attention to the cholesterol, pay attention to the prostate. Yes? Pay attention to the weight, pay attention to the big belly. Yes? Pay attention to the big belly. Very important. The waist of the man. The man's waist is getting bigger. His belly is getting bigger. He's putting on more weight. It's not good. It's not good. Yes. The man needs to exercise. The man needs to eat right. The man needs to drink. The man needs to drink more water. As I said earlier on, when men between age 40 and 70, more than 50% of all men, according to a study by Harvard University, will develop erectile dysfunction at some point in their life, and that is going to be due a lot to our lifestyle. Very important. Yes. And so we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to this. Let me just recap very quickly. The causes of this, as we said, it can be health issues. It can be the man has pressure, the man has sugar, the man has cholesterol problems. These things can cause sexual problems. Sometimes it's psychological. Sometimes the man's stressed out. Men are stressed out and nobody knows. Sometimes men are stressed out and nobody knows. And this affects their sexual performance too. It affects the sexual performance too. Yes? So stress, sometimes depression, alcoholism. Occasional drinking of alcohol is not bad, but when a person is an alcoholic, it affects their sexual problems. It does affect their sexual problems. Yes? It does affect their sexual problems. But as I said earlier on, as we wrap up, bear in mind, the man it is not you cannot classify it as a sexual dysfunction until it continues over a good period. Because it is not every night or whenever you have intercourse, the man is going to have a hard erection or he's going to stay long. Different things will come into play. Sometimes the mood, the experience, all different kind of things. But you have to bear in mind that if it continues over a period, then he has a problem. Then he has a problem. So he doesn't want to go to the doctor. He doesn't want to go to the doctor. He doesn't want to do anything about it. What do you do, ladies? What do you do? What do you do? The man has a problem and he is not doing anything about it. What do you do? I want to hear from you. You talk to him, he doesn't do anything about it. We're not trying to paint a nice picture here. You have some men who they're not doing anything about it. They're just living. They're just living. What do you do, ladies? Talk to me. Talk to me. What do you do? Because bear in mind, when the man comes to you for sex and he ejaculates prematurely, he's satisfied. But you are not. So what do you do when he's not trying to improve the situation? What do you do? He doesn't want to go to the doctor. What do you do? Let me hear from you. You leave him or you just focus on Jesus? What do you do? Let me hear from you. What do you do in a situation like that? And that is where a lot of people are. Yes, that's where a lot of people are. What do you do? It's a tough question. But it's a question that a lot of persons would want to be answered. But it is a serious issue. It is a serious issue. Yes? This whole issue of erection. Serious issue. Yeah? Daniel Cheney says, either you drag him to the doctor or you leave him. Either you drag him to the doctor or you leave him. Anybody agree with that? Straight to the point. Daniel says, drag him to the doctor or you leave him. You see how important intercourse is? You need to fix. Drag him to the doctor or leave him. Lovey Bethesda says, leave him. Then he says, lock shop till he go doctor. You see that? Gloria Dixon says, make foreplay longer. Make foreplay longer. Make foreplay longer. Kedisha says, it depends on how the woman address the man too. No, some women try their best to talk to him nicely. But some men are stubborn. I'm not bashing men. I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. But I'm talking reality. Some men are ashamed. They don't want to deal with it. So they do nothing whatsoever. And the woman tries as best. She tries to find the right hand to talk to him. But he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. So some person says, lock shop, leave him, make foreplay longer. Make foreplay longer. But I guess you can make foreplay longer, Gloria, and that probably even during foreplay he ejaculates. I don't know. I don't know. Kenisha James said, depends on how the man address the woman. To Donna Campbell said, Pastor, that's a tough question. Anne-Marie says, seek counseling. Good point. But what if the man don't want to go no counseling? I'm telling you about real situation here. What if a man don't want to go to any counseling? You have some men don't want to go no counseling. They don't want to talk to nobody about their sex life. They don't want to talk to anybody about their sex life. They don't want to. What does the woman do? Does the woman get some Viagra and put it in his food? Does the woman get some Viagra and put it in his food? What does a woman do? I am not making any recommendations from a health practitioner's perspective, but there are creams out there that I'm not saying you should do this. I'm just telling you what is out there. You would have to go search and seek and find out if it works for you. But there are creams out there, sprays, whatever, that if you put it on the man's penis, it will cause him not to ejaculate too quickly. And maintain the erection. You have condoms out there that once the man put it on and the liquid in the condom touch the penis, he's going to take a very long time for him to ejaculate. Do the woman do these things? Should the woman take matters into her hands and say, boy, I'm going to put some Viagra in his food, or I don't know if it will work in the food, I would have to do some research, or find a way to give him the Viagra, or get something and secretly rub it on his penis and him not even know say you rub it on it, or I don't know. But what? Talk to me, ladies. Donna Campbell says, Pastor, it's a tough question. Seek counseling. Donna Campbell says, I agree with the counseling. Yeah, yes, women like to go to counseling, but men don't like to go counseling. Men don't like to go counseling. What about secretly giving him the Viagra? What about getting something to rub on the penis for it to stay hard? Secretly. What about you just finding a way? Because you love him with all your heart and you're not planning to leave him. You're just trying to help him and help yourself. You're trying to help him and help yourself because you're not planning to find somebody else. You're not planning to cheat. You're not planning to leave him. You're not planning, because you have him coming from far, but you have hit a roadblock now. What you going to do to help? And Marie says, well, Pastor, if him love you, he will want to talk with someone or visit the doctor so he can save the relationship. That's a good point. But sometimes the man will love you, but some men are stubborn and they just don't believe that they should do certain things. And that is just the reality that a lot of women have to face. And I'm telling you that a lot of women are facing these things, but they are just depending on the Lord. They are praying, they are hoping, and a lot of women are not enjoying their sex life, but they are just leaning on the Lord. They are just living one day at a time. They are just trusting the Lord and waiting for Jesus to come for them and take them out of this mess. And if the man dies before them, that would even be better. They'll just find somebody else with, I don't know. But it's an issue. Don't fool yourself. You are naked. He looks at you and he cannot have an erection. And even if he does have an erection, he can't stay long. It's an issue, It's an issue. Gloria says it might not be wise to use any medicine without medical intervention because its dysfunction may be caused by health issues and maybe aggravated things. Viagra. That is so true. Dana says get him some Black Stallion. What is Black Stallion, Dana? Black Stallion work? You see, does Black Stallion work? I hear Dana presenting some things, but these things have to be proven, These things have to be proven, These things have to be proven. Have you proven that these things work, Dana? Black Stallion, that sounds like a drink. Danny says, but what if you want it every night? Viagra can't help because if you have bad heart, he will die. What a good question, Danny. What if you want it every night? What if the woman wants it every night? That's an issue, That's an issue. That's an issue. What if the woman wants it every night? If it's once a week, well, you can deal with it. But what if the woman wants it every night? What you going to do? It's sad. Sad to say, but it's sad. But it's something that we have to deal with. Yes? But what do you do? Let me ask the final question. What if you go to counseling? What if you go to counseling and you go to the doctor and medication and these things and they are still not working? You're not enjoying your sex life. What you're going to do? You're going to stay? Because sometimes the medication don't work, Are you going to stay? Sometimes the bush that you boil and the Black Stallion probably work for a day or two. What do you do? There could be other health issues that is causing this. What do you do? What if he cannot satisfy you sexually anymore? What do you do? What do you do? You stay? Or you get somebody younger? Very good question. Very good question. But according to research, the more some women age is the more sex they want. And that is so I don't even want to say it, that is so unfair, because the older some women get, the older some women get, the more sex they want. When a woman, some studies have shown that when a woman gets to 40 going up, that is when she wants more sex, and that is when a lot of men start to have sexual problems. So the woman wants more, and that is when men start to have problems. And so right then and there, so you really have a challenge. Everett says she too greedy, wanted every night, too greedy. She have to compromise on that every night issue. Is every night too much? As a Christian, you stay, but non-Christian gone. Is every night too much? I don't think every night is too much. Every night, once you can manage, every night is good. Life is short, you know. So I agree with Danet. Lovely Tessa says she would stay the same way. She would stay. If they are trying and nothing working, she would stay. She would stay. Yes, she would stay. If nothing is working, she would stay the same way. Yeah? But in summary, it is an issue that a lot of us face. A lot of men are facing it. And we have to just take it into serious consideration. That, you know, it affects a lot of men. And the ladies have a role to play. The men too have a role to play. In terms of how they eat. In terms of exercise. In terms of how they take care of their bodies. In terms of how they deal with themselves in rest and all of these things. It's very important. The food you eat is critical, very critical. The food you eat, it shouldn't harm you. It should make you better. Some things you must be cut out of the diet. Cut down as much as possible. As a matter of fact, some things must come out completely. Visit the doctor, find out what you should cut out and all of these things so that the man can perform better. Because the thing is, you know, at the end of the day, a woman will always be able to have sex. She might reach a certain age where the man might have to use lubricant, but she'll always be able to have sex. The man in turn, though, will have erection problems, and that is going to be an issue. So I believe when it comes to sex, the man more has an issue than the woman in the relationship. Because the woman will always, a woman at 90 will still be able to have sex. You understand? As long as she still have a vaginal opening and lubricant can cause the penis to enter, she'll still be able to have intercourse. A woman at 90. But a man, if he cannot get an erection or maintain one, therein lies the problem. And that is a huge problem. It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. We're going to be wrapping up in a few seconds. Let me just read these comments and then we are going to be wrapping up. Let me go back to these comments. Okay. Donna says the Black Stallion advertising on TV, so Donna never tried it yet. Donna don't know if Black Stallion works. She just advertise Black Stallion. Donna Campbell says threaten him. Threaten him. The threat will shake him up. Threaten him. I guess the threat will say I go leave him, or the threat I go say me I go lock shop. Tessa says I will stay the same way if it's not working out. Donna Campbell says I would stay too. Love Tessa says, Love Anne Marie says your husband and it's your husband, and remember your wedding vows. So you will just try to remember the times when sex was nice and satisfied with what you can do now. And that sounds wonderful. Gloria says the relationship does not unravel just because of erectile dysfunction. Most times there are deeper issues that dictates how the couple reacts to each other and their shared problems. And that is true. So I don't think the relationship should break apart because of erectile dysfunction. You made a vow. If you love each other, you'll try to work it out, work around with it. You're gonna have to come up with creative ways of satisfying each other. You're a team. Sometimes one player on the team is injured, but the team still has to win the game, and so you have to do what you have to do to win the game. Sometimes the main person on the team is injured, and you just have to try to win just the same way. It's the same with the marriage. Sometimes one person is not functioning as they ought to, but you cannot just throw away the marriage because of that. You have to try as best as possible to work it out. But yes, ladies, watch what you give your men to eat. Watch their pressure. Ladies, take your man to get a checkup every year. Let me say that again before I leave this platform. Ladies, make sure your man gets an executive. You know what an executive checkup is? They check for everything. It might be expensive, it might cost some money, but guess what? It's worth it. Make sure you do it. You make sure you get it done for him. Bring him to the doctor, and have the doctor give you whatever need, and you go do you bring him to do the test. It's your man. It's your penis, and you want this penis to be working. You can't afford for this penis to run out of battery, or this penis to run out of current, or this penis to die. You can't afford for this penis to be buried. This penis, you're going to need it. It is vital to your joy, your happiness, your peace. It's vital to your peace of mind. You need it to sleep well at night. You need it to function well. It is very important. Sometimes it's more important to you than food. You need it. So guess what? Look after him. Bring him to the doctor, man. Make him get a checkup. Yes, afraid of prostate check, go in there with him. Make him get him check up. Make him look after himself. Take care of him. Because you're going to need him down the road. And in terms of feeding, make sure you feed him good. Feed him with good food. Make him eat proper. And as I said, some of you ladies, you pack up the man plate of rice. You pack up him plate of rice, pack up your meat, and 2 little pieces of tomato at the side with 1 little piece of lettuce where you can look through. That's not good feeding. A half of that plate should be vegetables. And it will be even better if it's raw vegetables. A half of that plate should be vegetables. And you give him a big tall glass of sugar and water, a big tall glass of carrot juice or sweetened with sugar, a big tall glass of drinks. Sometimes with a big tall glass of soda. That's not good for him. Sometimes you can give him a nice big tall glass of water and make him drink that. Yes, man. And make sure that he eats well. Exercise too is very important. This big belly business. You don't want your man to have a big belly. When his belly too big, you can't do certain position. You can't enjoy good. In belly longer than in penis. You don't want him belly longer than in penis. You have some men, I'm not disrespecting any man now. But the man belly not supposed to be bigger than in penis. The man belly longer than in penis. So certain position you can't do it. So you have to watch his belly? You have to watch his belly? Yes? And so when the belly longer than the penis, how that work? Can't work. Alright, so very important, yes, and bear in mind that high blood pressure and sugar affects a man erection too. Affects a man erection. Let me tell you something. The man's erection must be hard and tough, must be stiff. And that's going to come down to a lot to eat. Yes? So what I say to people when I counsel them for marriage, I say, ladies, some of you love have sex in the dark, like you are none. Every now and then you will turn on light and look funny. And feel and make sure say it's strong enough, it's stiff. You ever drive car with gear stick yet? And yes, sometimes you have to hold it and make sure say it is getting enough blood and it is stiff enough. And anyhow it start get flimsy, ladies, you need to get concerned. Enough it flimsy, enough it must be stiff. Yes? And so you have to pay attention to that. Okay. All right. So we are going to be closing. We're going to wrapping this up. But yes. Too much in the dark. You understand me? Too much in the dark. Sometimes you have to you have to ensure. Sometimes you have to ensure because sometimes you have to ensure because sometimes the erections are not as hard as they used to be, and you don't even realize. And yes, he's aging, it might not be as hard as it used to be. But let me tell you something. You see, if you find out that the man's penis is not as stiff as it used to be, yes, he's aging, and that is somewhat normal. But you're going to now have to really pay attention to how his diet and his lifestyle and his rest and his exercise. Listen, me ladies. You see, the man's erection is your responsibility. It's a big part of your responsibility because you want it to be erect. You want it to be alive and tough and strong. So you have to make sure that you pay attention to that department. Very important. Very important. And some of your ladies too holy. You don't want to look at the penis. You have to look at it. You have to look at it and feel the strength in it sometime, you know. You can't hide from it. You understand me? I know this is from a church perspective, and some of you, when you go do it, you turn off light. You don't want to see it. You not even want to touch it. But sometimes you're going to have to turn on the light and look on it and hold it. Feel it. Don't rough it too much, you know. But feel it, feel the weight tight, feel the strength tight. And feel if you understand. And you say, yeah man. Yeah. Look like it'll work good. Very important. You have to do that. You have to do that. Yes? Yeah. Seriously done it. Seriously done it. Too much in the dark. So, yeah. So, very important, ladies. Very important. So, bear this in mind. Bear this in mind. And, as I said, ladies, don't make the man ejaculate too quickly either. Because some of you are the cause of it. You're the cause of it. Once you turn, listen to me. You see once a man is stimulated and he has an erection, you don't need to stimulate him no more. Allow the man. Make the man, let the man satisfy you. Some of you watch too much Lifetime movie. You watch too much TV. Listen to me. Stop stimulate the man. Make them, because the more you stimulate the man, you're going to make the man come quick. Especially when he's not young. And some of you don't know that. Some of you want still stimulate him while he's having intercourse with you. It's going to cause him to have that sensation where he's going to ejaculate. So ladies, you have to know this too. When you are having intercourse, woman, the more the man stimulated during, it make you feel good. But from the man perspective, that is not good. Because the more you stimulate him, the more he's going to want to ejaculate. Some of you ladies, I know you watch your movies and this and that. But let me tell you something. That's a movie. Make sure you don't stimulate him too much during intercourse because he's going to ejaculate before time. Yes? Very important. And so we have to pay attention to that. Yeah, it's a nice topic. Why you dead in Denny's? Why you are dead, Denny's? Why you are dead? One thing, Kedisha James, you know, easy, you know. So very important. So, we are going to be wrapping up. We are going to be wrapping up at this time. So please, ladies, gentlemen, let us try as best as possible to take care of ourselves, and let us try as best as possible to avoid certain lifestyle illnesses. I'm talking about the high blood pressure. I'm talking about the diabetes. I'm talking about the cholesterol. Let us try to cut down on some of these things. Let us try to increase the alcohol and the this and the that. These things don't do any good to your body. Let us try to increase the healthy things, so that the man can perform better. And what I will end on, there's nothing more important to most men than to satisfy a woman good. You have an erection and stiff and strong the whole time. It make you feel like Superman. Yes. Very important to a man. But as I said to you ladies, you have a role to play too. And don't just do it in the dark. Sometimes you have to look on it and feel the strength of it and make sure say they work good. And if you not work good, you have to go do something about it. Yes? As best as you can. Alright? But Father's Day is coming up on Sunday. And for those, Father's Day is coming up on Sunday. For those of you fathers who have your wives, your women, I wish for you a happy Father's Day. And I hope you have a right enough erection. Because as a man, you need a good erection. You need a good, stiff, strong erection. If you don't have that, try to do something about it. Yes? But bear in mind that it is an erection that made you into a father in the first place. Don't forget that. And lose anything in our life, but don't lose your erection. Erection important. Yes? Keep your erection. Work on it. Be concerned about it. Yes? Do what you need to do to make sure say you have a righted and strong and good erection. Eat what you're supposed to eat. Do what you're supposed to do. Because it's going to make you happy, and it is going to make the woman in your life happy also. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it was a good discussion. I think it was a good discussion. I don't. Some of us, we might have learned something. If you are having challenges, there are some things that we suggested. Probably talking to the person, going to the doctor, diet, nutrition, all of that, exercise. But you might say, Pastor, what can I do now? And we would say probably the first move you would want to make is to go to the doctor. But in the meantime, look at the diet, look at the nutrition, look at all of those things. Have a honest talk about it. Those of you who are not having any problems, listen to me. You're getting older. Start practicing healthy habits in terms of your eating, in terms of your sleep, in terms of your exercise, in terms of lessening drug abuse, alcohol, and this and that. You're young, your erection is good, but if you don't eat properly and treat your body well when you're young, it's going to affect you down the road. Yes? And so make sure that the food that you eat doesn't harm you. Cut down on the fast food. Cut down on the junk food. Cut down on the tin food. Cut down on the processed food. And eat more healthy stuff. Men over 40 must eat a lot of tomatoes. Very good for your prostate. Eat a lot of tomatoes, pumpkin seed. Do some research. See what you must feed on these things. Because, listen to me, just when you get to 40 and over, and your woman is 40 and over, she want more. She want it every night, according to Danet. She want it every night. A woman over 40 wants it every night. You have to can't manage. What you go tell your woman say? You tired? You can't manage? Can't work? Can't work? If your woman wants it every night, you have to can't manage. And so, you have to take care of yourself. Because you can't have a nice, sexy woman side of you. And you have to keep funeral. Can't work. So, you have to take care of yourself. You understand me? You have to take care of yourself. You understand me? Because it doesn't matter what kind of material position you have. If you're not having a good sex life, something is going to be missing. You understand me? You're not going to be 100% happy. Human beings were made to have sex as much as you can. You understand me? As a matter of fact, the more sex you have as a man, the better it is for your prostate. That's what research says. Better it is for you. So, the older the woman gets, so some of these men, them not understand what they're going. They're young, and them a drink, and them a smoke, and them a this, and them a that, and them a eat all kind of nonsense. And them have one nice girl, married XYZ. Guess what now? When you reach your 40s, the woman in her 40s, whatever, the woman wants you every night. And you know, can't manage. So, look after yourself. Yes? And make sure you do what you need to do. Yes? Kedisha says, check the doc before Sunday. Yeah, man. Check the doc for Sunday. Yeah, man. Check the doctor. And make sure you have a nice, good erection. Your erection, your erection should be strong. Should be strong. You're supposed to can take up one of your shoes. You're supposed to can take up one of your shoes, tie the lace span it, and you know bend. Lord Jesus. That's how stiff it should be. Yeah? So, look after yourself. Alright? So but as we wrap this up, as we wrap this up, let us just bear in mind that the older the man gets, and according to his lifestyle, the erection might not be as strong as when he was in his 20s. But ladies, still you have a lot of work to do. The erection means a lot more to you than to him. I would say from one perspective. So as I said, every now and then you have to check it and make sure say it's strong enough. Yes? And pay attention to him pressure and him sugar, and make sure him getting check up and make sure him healthy so that him can satisfy you. Because if you're not satisfied, Everett's an Iron Man to the world. Yeah, you're supposed to. You see the thing is, you know, as church people, we were socialized not to talk about sex. But that's foolishness. Sex is not nasty. Sex is not nasty. And people, adults, grown up, people who are grown up should be able to talk about sex freely. As long as it's not in the hearing of children to, you know. But people, adults should be able to talk about sex freely. You still have people, adults, who when it comes to sex, they have some qualms about, they don't want to talk about. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that the child that you have is a sex you had to have the child. Everybody knows that you're married or you have a woman, you're having sex every now and then. Everybody knows that. So there's nothing. It is nothing to be ashamed about to talk about. Yes, and because of that, a lot of people are having issues and don't even know what to do. Because we don't talk about sex ever in church. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it anywhere. Not even church. Even people who are not Christians, a lot of them afraid to talk about sex. Healthy conversations about sex. Yes? Healthy conversations about it. They're afraid to talk about it. Yes? So we can have good discussions on it. We can have good discussions on it. Yes? And so what I also say to men too is make sure that you know your woman, and there are some positions that make the woman come ejaculate faster than normal, and so you have to know that too. So sometimes you find yourself want to ejaculate, you stop it, but it's coming back, and you stop it and it's coming back, and sometimes you have to probably put her in the position where she can come quicker than you quicker, so that you are not embarrassed. So sex is not just jump on and jump off. I tell people that when I'm counseling for marriage, you can't just jump on and jump off. And you can't jump on and jump off like you play hopscotch. You understand me? You have to know what you're doing. You have to know what you're doing. Yes, you have to know what you're doing. And I say to people, you have to know, especially the men. I say, as Father's Day coming, especially the men. You need to know a woman's body. When I'm counseling people for marriage, I ask the man to bring a picture of a vagina. Print a picture, go up on the internet and print the picture of a vagina. One vagina, the woman lay down with the foot open wide. And everything labeled. Clitoris, labia, where part the name? Clitoris, labia, where next part name? You know, everything. And I said, look pani. Look pani. You see yaso and yaso and yaso. This part, very important, needs to be simulated. Yes? And the man has to study the woman's body and make sure that he stimulates her, because we haven't said this from night, but if the woman is not stimulated properly, sometimes it makes her take longer to ejaculate. But if she is stimulated properly, she will ejaculate quicker. And so the man wants sex. Him not stimulate her properly, him jump on, ejaculates and gone. But if he takes the time out to stimulate her, she will ejaculate before him, and everybody will be happy. Everybody will be happy. Everybody will be happy. Yes. So we're wrapping up. So Lovely Tessa says uterus. Yeah, uterus. But you really can't see the uterus from the outside. You can't really see the uterus from the outside. Yes, but the uterus also comes into the picture too. The man has to know how the uterus works. He has to learn about the cervix. I say to people, I know we have to close, but this is important. I say to men when I counsel them, listen me, make the woman lie down. And if you have to take a flashlight, since you love in the dark, turn on the light and look and ask question. Take the picture from the internet, look on the picture and look on the woman and find where you find. And know how it look, how the body works. You can't do everything in the dark. You understand me? And explore the woman's body. Every woman is different. She might like her back. She might like her arms stimulated. She might like her knee. You never know. You understand me? Jesus now coming in your bedroom. When you and your woman ready for have intercourse, God come out. God now wants you. So don't worry, say you go God look for you, angel look for you. Jesus no want to see you when you have sex. Jesus no business with you when you have sex. So make sure you do what you do what you need to do. Make sure you do what you have to do. Yes. So because men needs to know, the more the woman is stimulated, the easier it will be for her to ejaculate. A lot of men don't know this. A lot of men once they get Iron Man up, according to Everard, once they get Iron Man up, that's it. No, when Iron Man is up, it's not finished. The woman now needs to be stimulated sufficiently, and after she's stimulated sufficiently, you will know, because you're gonna have to observe. You can't just jump on and jump off. You will know. Yes, you will know. And once she's stimulated, well, then it's gonna be very easy for her. Why are we having this discussion? Because I'm going to tell you something. A whole heap of people, they have problem. Decent, nice, righty people will love each other like cook food. Simple as I take it. So the woman needs to be stimulated. Yes? And so the man needs to know the woman's body. The man needs to know the woman's body and make sure that she is satisfied. So so according to what we said earlier on, you see when you reach certain age, you only have one shot. You can only ejaculate one time for the night. Because that's where you reach in life. You can have, so you will stay, you will have intercourse for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 45, 50, 60 minutes. But you see, anytime you ejaculate, that's it. When you reach certain age. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of men, they're not going to tell you. You don't know what they want up in your bedroom. But a lot of men, when they reach certain age, bow, one shot. It done for the night. So guess what you do? You see, because you know you have only one shot, what you do with it? You hold it. And you stimulate the woman satisfactorily. And then when she ejaculates, if she want one more, you make she ejaculate again. And if she want one more, you make she ejaculate again. And then you ejaculate. Some women greedy, they want two. Some women satisfied with one. But you must know. But you make sure that when all is said and done, she's happy. And you are happy. Yes? And so even if your erection is not very strong, you see, even though, because the woman is very well stimulated, she will ejaculate quick. So you will not be under too much pressure to make her happy. Alright? We are going to be closing at this time. We are going to be closing at this time. I want to thank all of us for participating. I hope we learned something, and hopefully we can pass it on. We can encourage other people, but we want everybody to be happy and to enjoy life as much as they can. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for all of you who joined. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all those who participated, those who joined, those who gave their 2 cents, all of that. I have certainly learned from this research, just the discussion. I hope you have learned something from it also. As I said, fathers, those of you who are still here, I hope you have a good Father's Day on Sunday, leading up to that. And I hope that, and I wish for you a good, strong, healthy erection for the rest of your life. I hope that your erection never dies, it never gets weak, and I hope that you will have a good, strong erection. Maintain that erection for as long as you live. May the Lord bless you, may the Lord keep you, and you, not only you will be happy, but your woman will also be happy. And when your woman is happy, you are going to be a very happy man. Yes. Bless you in Jesus' name. Father, we thank you for the discussion we have just had. Thank you for those who participated. Bless your people, and may your grace be upon them. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. Good night, everyone. God bless you. We'll talk again next week. We'll have a very interesting topic again to discuss. God bless you. See you soon. Walk good. In Jesus' name. Amen. Bless you.